Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
Enjoy this presentation of the Jimmy Mack Healing Show.
Renowned medical, intuitive, and spiritual life coach. Visit www.jimmymackhealing.com.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hey everybody, Jimmy Mack coming to you live with another transmission and download of today's show. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate everybody being here. We'll run it, for a while now, up to maybe 5 p.m. Eastern. So keep that in mind. Definitely write in. And if you have any questions, if you want to get a little burst short reading or a healing, just reach out, of course, and IM us. You do need to be dialed into your either Facebook or YouTube or your Gmail in order to do that, just so you know. So we keep telling everybody that because it's new to us too. We did the radio course and voice for, about 5 years, I guess. And but we're loving the new video format as well. If you're not already subscribed, please go to jimmymackhealing.com, sign up for a weekly newsletter. It is an e-newsletter that goes out every Wednesday, TGI Wednesday. It'll have lists here of who's going to be on the show, that sort of thing, and what we have coming up. We also have a new audio MP3. For those of you who haven't picked it up yet, it's called The Creatives. And it's about a half an hour, and it's specifically for those that are intuitives, that could be artists, writers, musicians, that sort of thing. So if you're into that and creative at all, you're going to want to pick that up, and that's at the library. You can go to jimmymackhealingshop.com. There's almost 30 audio MP3s in there. So keep that in mind. Appreciate everybody being on the show today. Make every effort to, of course, have one question in mind. Everybody can talk forever. I know I could about work, job, career, relationships, maybe some health challenges, whatnot. Grab that one thing and ask for that, so that we can have more time, obviously, to get to all the callers and people that are on the show. I like to have somebody with me every week, just to make it less painful to do all this by myself with Reverend Tiffany in the background. So we're excited about today's guest. It's Reverend Kevin Lee. Hey, buddy. Welcome. How are you?
Great to see you, Mr. Jimmy. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for allowing me just to kind of come on and support your community in this mission and just share a little light.
You bet. And the best way for folks to get a hold of you, ReverendKevinLee.com is the best way.
Yep,
I know.
perfect.
So tell folks a little more about you. I know you've done some physical medium work. You do the cards, that sort of thing. You have a place over on the east coast of Florida. Thankfully, y'all missed the hurricane over there, so that was all good. We moved it as hard as we could offshore. I know
Thank you. Lots of prayers. Push that thing out. You know, I'm all for. You know, it's interesting because one of my old mentors always said, you know, don't disrupt the hurricane. It's Mother Nature. It's God and expression. I'm like, well, just push it into the ocean a little further.
Exactly. Nah, I'm all about disrupting it.
It's true. You know, and but I've been around here in South Florida for, probably 17 years. And I stepped onto this path of metaphysics and higher truth and spiritualism probably a good 13, 14 years ago. And fell into my beautiful little metaphysical community over here, the Metaphysical Chapel of South Florida, and have really just kind of unfolded a place that allowed us to bring people like yourself, myself, other speakers from other places, even across the state, across the country, even out from internationally into the United States, to really demonstrate what I teach. And what we put forward. Well, I may not can do it all, but I can certainly find the people who walk the talk and can demonstrate. So I have brought a beautiful network of speakers into my South Florida area, just so that our community could learn and begin to unfold their own gifts of spirit in whatever way they wanted to develop. And it's been really an amazing journey, and I get to benefit because I get to go to everything. So I've learned and witnessed things of Hollywood movies that people don't even believe exist. I've witnessed the most incredible things. Amazing.
Love that. You know, I happened to page through, it was Dr. Strange the other day, Cumberbatch, of course. And I just happened to be going through the channels And he met with the mystic, of course, at Kathmandu, and she was just, blowing his mind left and right, and she would barely touch him, and this whole spirit would fly out of the back of his body, and he's just having profound experiences, and he was a trained classical surgeon, so this was really, really woo-woo to him, in the movie. So very profound. So I know of which you speak, my friend, because I've seen it and been there too, and experienced a lot of it. So what I know you have services weekly, also private sessions. Best way to get a hold of you is through the website.
Absolutely. Most of us are all on Facebook. So if you just type in Rev Kevin Lee, you're going to find me. I think I'm the only one.
Sure.
But definitely I'm over in Fort Lauderdale, and that might even be a good helpful keyword. But especially they can go to revkevinlee.com and jump on the email list, things like that, to stay in touch. And actually, I will tell you just quickly that this weekend, I'm very blessed, very honored to have been allowed to be a speaker and a teacher for Camp Chesterfield, which is outside of Indianapolis. And we're going to be hosting a two-part learning to read angel cards, oracle cards, really. And that'll be this coming Saturday. It's 2 parts. It's all day. It's all virtual. And and if they'll go to the link that Reverend Tiffany will make available here during the show, and there's a listing on my Facebook timeline in the events section, and it'll take you right to Camp Chesterfield. And that camp is world famous. It's over 150 years old, if I'm not mistaken, with a beautiful history of spiritualism, healing, metaphysics, mediumship, psychic development. There's a beautiful seminary program there as well. Lots of history. Many people who know me know I love precipitation mediumship. It changed my life. It's a form of physical mediumship. It's very rare. And that campus has the largest collection of precipitated images and writings that literally came out of the ethers onto various forms of canvas. And so their museum there has an amazing history of precipitation. So it definitely has my heart. That's why that's
awesome. Yeah. Tell folks more about precipitation for those that don't know. What in the world is he talking about? Rain, or what's he talking about?
I get that question all the time. Oh, are you a meteorologist? Somebody asked me that the other day. And you know what? But it's interesting because the phenomena occurs very much like rain or like snow or ash. So think about this. We have, and I just mentioned the keywords, rain, snow, and ash. Those are perfect examples. These are precipitates that fall out of a solution, and the atmosphere is a solution, if you will. And as things begin to condense, they literally precipitate out. And so the same thing happens with precipitation mediumship. It's a form of very intelligent and evidential spirit communication where the spirit world will intelligently dematerialize pigments that we supply in a little container. They'll take that into spirit, reorganize it, and then rematerialize it in a highly evidential, synchronistic way, sometimes even funny ways. And they'll create these amazing images and writings, even signatures. I've seen signatures created that match what's in museums, and it changes people's lives. It literally transformed my life 13 years ago, and is exactly why I'm on this path today. And it made such a difference so quickly in my life. I realized the spirit world loves me. I realized they weren't judging me in the type of church or religion I was learning. They supported me in my journey. And I realized everything I probably have been taught by my family or my church or religion in the past, it wasn't for me. And so my soul found what it needed in this world of metaphysics. And I received this transformative message and image from Mother Mary and Father Joseph, actually. And it was so synchronistic and evidential to me because of what was going on in my life, that I realized if these saints, who I never prayed to, but if they're willing to speak to me and provide me this proof that they support my journey, then that's all I need to hear. And it literally took months of mental and spiritual pain out of my heart and out of my spirit. And I no longer feared that God hated me or judged me. And I realized, I can feel the emotion.
Yeah.
I realized if that can happen for me, I want to do that for other people as well. And that began my journey. What the heck is this this strange thing this old man just did for me. How in the world did this materialize? And that began the journey. And it's been an amazing journey.
Love that. Now, you did, or still do, you did some, I want to say, anesthesia, nurse anesthesia.
Oh, very good. Yes. Actually, that's
PA, whatnot. Yeah.
It was one of my life goals. And I know that it was interesting, even going into nursing anesthesia, which was a lifelong dream. Even before I was metaphysical, I knew there was something in my soul saying to me, this is not it. You got more to do. And I thought, but I'm about to spend 3 years in residency. I'm going to become a slave to the hospital for free. And I'm about to spend a fortune. And I kept thinking, but I have to do this. There's some reason why I have to do it. And I did it. I accomplished it. I've been practicing nursing anesthesia for 14 years and since 2004, 5, 6. And it really has been amazing. It allowed me financially to do a lot of the things metaphysically that I've been able to do for my community and for myself. So I think it laid a foundation that helped me just be a little more free in my journey.
Sure. Be helpful to everybody, of course.
But it was tough. Residency was brutal.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know my story, I was just south of you, and they took my gallbladder out, but they about killed me. They gave me too much anesthesia.
Oh, yes, that can happen.
Yep. And so I was in ICU, and I coded out 3 nights in a row. So it was bad. I tell everybody it's brutal when you're in your little tiny room and the heads of all the departments come into your room. It's not a good sign.
That's true.
So I think it was a surgeon at the time, and he said, we don't know, this, that, and the other thing. Wow. You're sick. You're really, got full-blown clinical pneumonia. We don't know if you brought it in with you. We don't know if it happened while you're under or what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, pretend you're my best friend, my favorite uncle, my favorite brother-in-law, whatever. And he goes, I'd put you in ICU. So I said, lead the way. So every night I was coding out in ICU. It was horrific. It's nothing you want to come back from, though, because what I saw was
interesting.
Gorgeous.
As you speak, I suddenly get this feeling that was some sort of a turning point for you.
Huge.
And it was some sort of I don't know if it was an awakening, but it was almost like another level for you. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times, and I've heard patients, even my patients have spoken about this, I'm very compassionate. So I'm always very chatty as a nurse with my patients. And I usually get a lot of information from them. But I'm not allowed to share my religion by hospital policy. So I'm very, very, anyway, I get my information from them. But a lot of times they'll say, I died, or I had this strange, tragic accident. And when I woke up in recovery, I could see colors around people. I could hear this angelic tune, but nobody else could hear it. Or I suddenly began to just simply know my mother was going to be coming to my house within days of this strange experience or a major surgery that was life-threatening. And I have heard that story so many times, but I can feel whatever you went through, there was a karmic release, and there was a sense of you. It was time for you to move to the next level. So that was really a challenge.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm happy to chat with you about it. Very profound. Of course, I didn't think I'd make it, and it was brutal. 3 days in ICU. So I'll never forget. They gave me the best nurses, the best everybody, head of pulmonary. Next thing you know, they pulled out all the stops, and shockingly, I never got a bill, and you know why. So anyway, it was a trip. But I'll never forget, they were taking me to a step-down unit, and my favorite nurse was pushing my little bed. And she leaned into me and she said, I'm so glad you made it. We didn't think you'd make it. I'm like, oh man, what a thing to say, right?
I know.
So we're going through these double doors, and it has a huge blown up picture of her. It said, congratulations, Nurse Nancy, ICU Nurse of the Year, so I'll never forget that. It was so profound, I'm like, yes. And so just a lot of craziness like that. They put me in a step down unit, and the internist came to me, and she was sweet. And she said, Jimmy, these 2 girls are going to teach you how to walk again.
Wow.
Teach me how to walk again. How bad could it be, right? Little did I know, right? We were south of you, so I don't need to tell you. And so they did the breathing treatments and couldn't hardly get up out of bed. And so it felt like 10 elephants on your chest. But very profound experiences. Definitely heard all the angelic music, to talk about the colors, just really brings tears to my eyes. Very profound. Some of the best pictures you can go to would be Hubble Space Telescope pictures, deep inner space. Go to images, and you can see all the stuff I was going up into. It's nothing you want to come back from. It's spectacular. And the other things I like would be anything that's 432 hertz on YouTube is very similar to it. And also Constance Demby. I like her. So if you go to YouTube and listen to Constance Demby, it's like she plays all these different instruments and puts them all together, and it's just very, profound. You just have these profound experiences even listening to her stuff. So very cool. Yeah. So we're glad you're here. We'll get underway, and I'll let you go first and maybe do some card readings or whatever comes to mind for maybe 3 to 5 minutes anyway. Hopefully they can narrow down one topic, and then if they can use a healing, I'll be glad to work on it.
That'd be marvelous. Let's do that. I'm happy to serve.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so she's got Deborah here first. I don't know which Deborah it is, but we're glad you're here.
Deborah. Wonderful. Okay. Good to see you, Miss Deborah.
All right. Love a reading about love. Thank you, Jimmy and Kevin. All right.
You're so welcome, Miss Deborah. Welcome to the show. And thank you for allowing me to just, step in with you here and just connect with your energy as I look at the bio image attached to your comment and say your name. I will tell you this: there is a lady in spirit that steps in with you, and I can definitely feel a familial energy with her. She's in spirit, and there's just a sense of guidance and almost a sense of a gentle hand on the shoulder. It almost feels as though it would have been her character or personality to always place a hand on a shoulder to remind you of support in your life when she was here in the physical with you. Definitely a mother influence in this energy. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is either a mother in spirit or someone who is like a mother, maybe someone who raised you in a motherly role. And I just get a sense of continuing to guide you forward in life. And there's a sense of wanting to speak about children with you, which is interesting because it's almost as though there's a question mark that appears when I sense you, as though if you have a child, don't question your potentials in raising the child. You're doing a great job. I almost get this sense that I want to say to you that you question so much. You have this innate knowledge of as a parent, which I find interesting. And don't second guess yourself. She's there with you. And I suddenly get this feeling I want to look up in the corner of my room, which is one of my signs that children, if this is your child, this child would be aware of a spirit in the room, which would be this lady in spirit, the mother in spirit. Would you just drop a comment to let me know if I'm on the right track with you? And I'll make sure that I correct it if I'm a little off. Sometimes I could be off, like if it's a grandma who took over the mother's role. That's possible. So, but just be aware of the work that you're doing it just feels like you're a mother as well, that you have a daughter. So definitely leave us a quick comment. But I want to say to you, as I pull a card for you, oh, that's very interesting, because make sure this pops up for you. This card is gorgeous. And one of the things when I said your name earlier, I actually saw, I believe this color is called violet. It's a blend of blue and purple. It's one of my favorite colors. And in this color, you will, it basically is saying this is about abundance. And it reminds me of manifestation. And you're going through a process of questioning, do you have enough? Are you in the right direction? And the angels want to remind you that all we need to do is call on them, to ask them to come into our life in whatever way you wish that to be, and to bring forward, it's my grandmother. And she raised you. That's why I felt that. That's interesting. And I want to say to you that you definitely have this natural ability of manifestation, but it always helps to call upon the angels to bring forward that vibration. So definitely think about the color. You can even light candles in that color, wrap yourself in that color as you go through your day, and also surround yourself with that color. Little pictures, if you're creative, maybe paintings or sculptures with that color, things like that. I just want to say, begin to look into manifestation, because I truly feel that is one of your strong points. And curiously enough, even though all the stuff I do, it's not one of my strong points. Interestingly enough, my walk up the mountain is very hard in life, has always been. And I have very dear friends that literally will manifest the words that come out of their mouth within hours. And it just shocks. It doesn't really surprise me, but it does surprise me. And I want to say, embrace your manifesting potentials, because you truly, whatever you need always seems to easily come to you. And that is the power of the angels helping you to manifest your spiritual gifts. So thank you so much for just allowing me to step into your light and give you a little confirmation and evidence today. And blessings to your grandmother who supports you. She has her hand on your shoulder, guides you forward. And again, there's just this sense of a kiss or a blessing, almost a little small girl. So it makes me feel like there would be children for you, a daughter for you, or grandchildren for this grandmother. So definitely love and kisses from the grandmother. All right. Many blessings.
Love that. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it. And yeah, definitely pick up the grandmother piece. And she's referring to love or asking about love. It doesn't test for weeks. It tests for about 2 months out. So that's really what you're looking at, whatever this month is. We're lost half the time. September, October, second week in October. So by about the second week in October, I tell all the beautiful women and accept every invitation to every party, even if you don't feel like going, because you could be, one intro away from tall, dark, and oh my God. So that's what you want to do. And also I call upon everybody. My father's gone now. My brother is gorgeous. His name was Kevin Lee, by the way. So we love that you're here. It's some trickery he would do to me just to laugh that you had his same name. He was really a character. And then my mother as well. So the point is, I call out to them all the time. I believe beyond all knowing that they can hear us. So don't hesitate to ask your grandmother for help so that you can be shown and told the way to love and to have somebody find you in a romantic sense. It also has that same touch as your grandmother and that same depth of love. So consider that, but holler out to her and say, Grandma, I need some help. And here's what I'm looking to do. And you'll be shocked that they will see it. And very often they come about it in a completely different way. I tell people, and Kevin knows what I'm saying, it's always like 5 jumps ahead or away. It's so weird, the things that happen. And so very interesting. So thank you so much for writing in. We appreciate you. Christina is next. Hi, Christina. All right.
Welcome, Christina.
Trying to start a family of my own. Oh man, and twins running in my family, wondering if I'll get pregnant this year and will be with twins. Wow. Good luck with that, Kevin. It's all yours.
Not a problem. Okay, Christina, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our community. And as I just kind of step into your energy and just kind of visualize, I love seeing pictures. I always do this with my students. I love to do the picture thing. I love to look into eyes, because even as a nurse, I always love seeing my patients open their eyes, because it gave me a glimpse into the soul, the essence of them. So as I just kind of connect with you in the eyes in this picture and say your name, connect with your vibration, Christina Alvarez, I will tell you this. What's interesting is that you draw to you very easily the angels. It wouldn't surprise me if you are an angel, a prayer type person. You must call on the angels quite often. And I just got a sense of the saints. You must be have a background in either Catholicism, because I can feel the saints around you supporting your prayers. So you definitely call in the work that you're doing is calling in these higher guides to support you in life. And it definitely feels they are there to support you in a family way, which just goes right back to your question, which is about children, building the family. It's really interesting, because the card that I pulled for you is a gorgeous little card. Let me make sure I get that correct so you can see it. There's nothing to worry about. What does that say? What is that? Let's talk about the color first, the symbolism of the color. That deep blue is a deep truth, which just basically says the angels are there to support you in your prayers, your desires, which is they're going to be bringing you the family that you desire. And it actually feels like it will come quite easily, which tells me that you probably will not have any trouble becoming a mom very quickly. So when you have to make sure that you're ready for that step, because it will literally manifest quite naturally. And when you look at what this card says, what the angels bring forward is there's nothing to worry about. And I want you to understand also, so often my patients will tell me, I read this, I heard this on TV, my friend told me this. I don't want you to listen to other people speaking about how difficult or unique their childbirth process was. I want you to focus on what is in your spirit. You recognize the angels are with you, the saints are with you to make sure this comes forward in a very smooth way. And you keep this to yourself. You focus on manifesting new life through this body temple, bringing it into the world to start building more light through your family. And we don't need to speak about our goals and the things that we're doing in our life with other people in a public way. Keep this private. Spirit told me many years ago, Kevin, the reason why your little heart keeps getting stepped on is because you're sharing your light a little too loudly with people who are not ready to hear it. Focus on what your soul is guided to do. So I think the reason I'm sharing that that intimate story of mine is just to remind you, when you begin the process to bring forward life, that is a very sacred experience, and I want you to keep that to yourself and your innermost family members. And just calling the angels, the saints. I definitely feel a Mother Mary here. Wouldn't surprise me if you speak to her quite regularly, because I feel as though she brings that divine compassion, which is exactly what she did for the planet Earth by bringing forward the Christ consciousness. And they did it in a very quiet and a very humble way, didn't they? So I just celebrate you, and I think you're going to have a beautiful, just a beautiful light manifestation experience with your new family in the coming year.
Love that. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't get twins for you, Christina, by the way, but it's about the second week in February. You're either going to know you're pregnant or discover you're pregnant. I don't get boy, I get girl. My caveat to all that is I've been about 100% on people having babies and when and boy or girl, and I'm batting about 0 for my own family. So the last one of the last granddaughters I was going to have, I thought was a boy, and I think I sulked for 3 days. And so then my oldest ended up, they're pregnant, and I said, boy, 8 ways to Sunday, and it's a girl. So there you go.
Isn't that the story of our life?
That's what I even say with a grain of salt. But for you, yeah, February, second week in February, you'll get pregnant then. I don't get that you're going to know you're pregnant then. You'll get pregnant then, and you're going to have a girl. I don't see a boy or twin. So there you go. All right. She had a dream a few years ago, she said, back of her Mother Mary walking around my house. How cool is that? There's some confirmation for you.
Very interesting. And I'll tell you, Miss Christina, one of the things that I didn't mention, because I don't like to break people's hearts, but I only saw one light, which was interesting, coming to the body temple symbolically. So thank you, Jimmy, because I just hesitated to say that because, I trust Jimmy, what he says.
It's all good. All good. Thank you for writing in. We appreciate you. Amy is next. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Miss Amy. Wondering if you can tell me anything about the condition of my skin. I've had dermatological appointments coming up, but I have some concern about sun damage. Thank you. All right, Miss Amy Lash, great to see you. As I step into your energy and as I connect with you here, what I can tell you is it's all going to be fine, because I get a sense of what I call the vibration of Archangel Raphael around you. And it's this beautiful dark green energy, which means that it's being taken care of. And so we don't need to worry about it. I feel as though even if there's a find, it's an incredibly fixable small find. So it just almost feels symbolically as though there would be a scraping, or there would be some type of a superficial removal energetically. And what's left behind is the pure light. So that symbolically to me tells me it's just simply something that you'll need to go through. Brief, simple, nothing to worry about. And I'll tell you this. The card that the angels pull for you today, this is a card on confidence. And I want you to remember this, because one of the things, as I began to say your name, I started to be reminded of a story where I had some patients challenge my beliefs versus the hospital beliefs, the doctor's belief, because I was speaking about alternative medicine. We have to remember, we have to have confidence in the medical system, because they too are guided by the hand of God, that God expresses through the mind and the hands of these surgeons, the doctors, the nurses, the various leaders of the hospitals, and they are all God in existence. So and I want you to really just have confidence in the process. and just recognize that the angels are guiding you where you need to be. And everything is definitely going to be all right from a vibrational standpoint. So I just celebrate you, and I don't want you to worry. I don't like that feeling. I always want to uplift my audiences, but I am aware that sometimes we have to talk about difficult things. But with you, again, superficial, it's almost like a Band-Aid effect, if I can symbolically wrap it up. So definitely there will be something taken care of, but you're going to be fine. Okay?
Excellent. Love that. Thanks, Kevin. Amy, also consider anytime everything, skin is the largest organ of the body. It always relates to, in Chinese medicine, the liver. So anytime you get a chance to Google eat for your liver or do a liver cleanse, that's probably going to go a long way to really help you. I don't get that it's anything bad either, just like Kevin. I think that's, you know, not to say they won't use some purple light and find a million things wrong, but, you know, it's always your option of what you want cut on and not cut on. I don't even get sun damage with you. I think that's you overthinking it, by the way. And a lot of people will test for aloe or coconut oil. You test strong for coconut oil. So if you can find some organic coconut oil, I'd start putting that even on now before you go. So keep that in mind, and that's going to go a long way to help you, okay? Thanks for writing in, Amy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss Amy.
Love it. All right, Melissa's next. Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Hi, Melissa. Awesome. Melissa Parks. Absolutely. Melissa Parks. You know, it's interesting because with you, as I just connect with your energy, there is a presence of a gentleman in spirit that steps forward for you, definitely of the father vibration. So this tells me that this, and actually he feels quite strong as a father. So would you recognize your father in the spirit world? And just make sure you drop a comment real quick. Now, as I go forward into your energy and just connect with you a little further, I want to say there is a sense of questioning, almost like a fork in a road with you. It makes me feel as though you're making a decision to either continue in a business way or branch off into what I kind of call this parallelpreneur. The side hustle is what the kids call it now. So if you have a corporate or some sort of a solid job, there's the potential for something over here as well. There's no reason why you can't begin to walk both journeys together, starting the second hobby or parallel entrepreneurial effort along with your primary. And I want to say it will eventually, the trajectory will take you more into this entrepreneurial activity, but I feel like it's definitely more purpose-driven, life-oriented. And also there's a sense of, I almost want to be happier. I want to be more joyful. So it makes me think you've kind of felt like you've been in a rut in whatever you have been involved with job-wise. And I keep wanting to say academic, but that is not what I'm feeling inside. So I don't know if this is an academic job that you've been in the long term, but that word keeps wanting to slip out while I'm speaking. So let me know. Let's see, I don't see it. Yes, she says yes. Okay. So I want to say to you that you definitely need to begin looking at what makes my soul ignite, what makes me beam, what would be an amazing thing that I could do? What is what comes so natural to me? And I can use that in a purposeful way to serve a higher power or to serve a community like charity work, or to create something that's profit driven that brings profit through your spiritual gifts and your offerings to the public. So think about that, because it's a great way to find your purpose. And I'll tell you this, as I pull a card for you, really interesting, the vibration of innocence comes in. And typically when this card pops in for you, it just reminds me of, it goes right back to this whole concept of serving others, charity-minded, nonprofit type energy. It just reminds me that your purpose will probably be very charity-oriented, and there is no reason why you should not be able to earn a decent living from the work that you do. Never feel you're discoloring your soul by taking money for spiritual efforts. That's totally not true. You need to receive if we are giving of our spirit. And that's the great circle and the law of attraction and reciprocity as well. So just remember, serve your purpose, and really your purpose will serve you. Many blessings.
Of that. Yeah. And she's an intuitive too, Kevin. And so,
wonderful.
so that's why it's coming up so much. And I did want to say to you too, as well, the lavender, the violet color, I see that on everybody ever since my incident. And
Wow.
so it's around everything. To me, it's the energy of everything. So generally it's not inanimate objects, it's people, pets, trees, things that are, somehow living, breathing, whatnot. So yeah, very profound. So it's a very cool color, and you can definitely see that. It's almost like a shadow around everybody and everything. It's very slight, but you can always see it. Awesome. Kavita, you're next. What's going on? All right,
Miss Kavita. But okay, I will not attempt your last name, but I bless your last name. Okay, Kavita B and Jimmy and Kevin, I'd love a message from the other side. I'm open to any guidance about upcoming significant events over the next few months. All right, Miss Kavita, as I just step into your energy, what's interesting is I'm drawn to the image in my mind from the hint. I recognize your name is definitely Indian in origin, but there's something about Krishna with you, that energy of innocence, which makes me feel as though this is exactly how people describe you. There's just a sense of pure kindness, pure innocence, a giving nature, but also a teaching nature. Something about teaching comes up with you. And it almost reminds me of teaching spiritual truths, like what I do in my church. So it wouldn't surprise me if you're not a spiritual teacher of some type of yoga philosophy, Hindu principles, and somehow you're involved with that in your community. And I just get a sense of almost like saintly or I'm going to say godly, but it even could be like an ascended master type energy that comes forward to just thank you for the work that you do for other people. It's almost like I want to light a little lamp or a little candle in my hand in honor of the work that you do. That's very interesting. You are definitely on your path. And I'll say to you this, there is a sense of a lady in spirit that steps forward, a very much like a sister vibration, it feels like, because I feel as though she would have walked a very similar path, and she would have been known to be incredibly giving, teaching, kind with her words, and everybody seemed to come to her as well for some sort of spiritual or higher truth guidance. And I hope that you recognize who she is. It's either a best friend that's a female, or it's a sister type. It's actually your sister or sister type person. And I want to say to you this, because what I get for you, Miss Kavita, is time to go. This card always tells me it just embodies movement in life. And you are asking about significant events. And I can tell you that there is movement. You're on your path. Don't question your path. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing, because I just saw little question marks pop up again in my mind, which tells me you're an overachiever in a beautiful way. I'm guilty too, but you're doing enough. Whoever the universe puts onto your path in front of you is exactly who you need to serve. So don't look at the numbers. Just serve in a beautiful way of quality to those that are on your path. You're doing your job, and you're definitely going to see a lot of change in the next 6 months, because I can feel that for you. I get the symbol of a river flowing, but it's quite a large river, and it's just churning, moving. So that tells me the energy is going in the right direction in a strong way. So many blessings, Miss Kavita. Thank you.
Thanks for writing in. Appreciate you, Kavita. All right. Shamanic one is next, like a shamanic one. Here we go.
Ooh, love that.
Look at this.
I'm in an infamous radical city. Oh, I love that already. The thinking of nearly everyone I know is or has become stridently far left. Should I make peace with their rantings or move to a more balanced locale? Well, I'll tell you this, and this is just from my teachings that Spirit has brought to me, and also from my studies of yoga philosophy over many years. And so I will tell you this, these examples, these things that get your energy boiling or hot or push your button so easily or disturb your spirit, it is in your path, in your life for a reason. we have obstacles in our life because those are the moments that we learn the most. That's what we call the moments of fire, or the dark cloud moments. And when we can learn to walk through the fire yogically, meaning symbolically, in a higher way, we will not be harmed by it, but we will be aware of what's happening. And I'll tell you, Spirit made me aware of a story. I'm going to tell it very quickly, briefly. Many years ago, I had a very nasty boss in a very good job. I loved my job, but the boss made it very difficult for me. He didn't like anybody, treated everybody with great disrespect. And it really offended a lot of us and brought a lot of torture to a lot of us. We were not pleased with it. A lot of us were talking about leaving. And I thought, I've got to try some of these metaphysical principles and yoga principles. So I started saying to myself, let's do an experiment. And I stepped in gratitude every day. And I said, thank you, car, for getting me to this job. Even though I hate it, thank you, car. I have a job to go to. Thank you, paycheck, because you let me pay for my bills, even though my job is difficult. And then I moved it on up to thank you, difficult boss. I stepped in gratitude. And within about 7 to 10 days, I noticed there was drama and fire all around me at work one day. And everybody was involved but me. It was literally like I was invisible and nobody recognized I was in the room. It was the most peculiar feeling because I realized I had literally manifested a higher vibration that did not allow my spirit to get pulled into the negativity, and I learned a great lesson from that. And I want to say to you, just like water flows around objects very naturally, I think that's really the karmic lesson for you, is learning that these examples that are fire related, in a sense, that disturb your spirit, they're there for a reason for you to grow from and learn from. So recognize them and say to these people or these experiences, thank you. I can feel the tension in my spirit, my energy, my body. I recognize you're my lesson today. I may not like it, but you're a lesson, and I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to try to learn from you. What is it? How is my soul a part of this journey with this difficulty? And when you turn the tide on the situation, you literally begin to, we call it finding the silver lining. That's the way we say it. And that's how your soul evolves. So see them as an opportunity for growth. And that's your little blessing for today.
Love that. Well said. Yeah, I get, just so you know, it tests strong to move to a more balanced locale, whatever that means to you. Right back in another day, we'll tell you what state if you need to guess a state. But Kevin pointed that out so apropos. I mean, I love that there's a Tom Hanks movie. It's called Cloud Atlas. And in this movie, he is a bunch of different people. He goes from being a abolitionist to a murderer to a doctor to an outer space guy. And I think that's how wild everything is. So I promise you, all this stuff that's really setting your hair on fire, you were a part of, maybe during the race riots of the 60s, or, Europe in the early 1900s. You might have been leading the pack with the pitchforks and the flame on fire on the stick, So I promise you that's the case. But if it's triggering you so bad as to be non-functional or whatnot, then ultimately I see you moving. And again, for whatever reason, February is popping up about by Valentine's Day. I don't even get you're going to stay in the state. I think you test really far west right now. You might even move back east. Where, we don't know. We'll see. But keep that in mind. So thanks for writing in. And many blessings. Thanks for sharing it. All right, let's see who's next here. Kim. All right, Kim, San Francisco. It's all you, Kevin.
Okay, all right. I'd love some support from with a negative experience I had yesterday, ending up refunding a client. I'd love some help understanding, clearing out from that. Excellent. Well, it's interesting you brought this up. It's something that I actually had written down and was preparing for a class. And I'll tell you this, as I just kind of look at the image in your bio and then also your name and say Kimquinones to myself, as I link in with you, there's just a sense of, it almost feels like professor energy around you. There is definitely this type of a spirit guide, what we call a doctor of philosophy and spiritualism or metaphysics. It reminds me of what we just did with the previous caller, which was to remind you that these are experiences they pinch. They definitely don't feel pleasant, but they're opportunities to learn, to grow, and to learn to release. And I think as I say that, there's a heavier vibration around the words release. You either are controlling by nature, which I've definitely been guilty of that, but a sense of wanting everything to be so perfect and go so right that it literally, this is a lesson you must be experiencing. It feels like you're actually experiencing it over and over. It's not you and your abilities. It is a sense of you must learn the lesson to let go, because it never was yours to begin with. Energy flows into our life in the form of money or people or opportunities, and then it flows out of our life as blessings or us using that energy in other ways. So I want you to remember this is a higher lesson for you. And one of the best ways that we can bless it on its way and not feel kind of like a healing salve on our spirit is just to recognize that God, the universe, your loved ones, your spiritual guides and teachers, they've brought this forward because your soul asked them to before you incarnated. These are simply part of your soul contract. And just bless it as an opportunity to grow. And remember, we're not here to be perfect. We're here to be perfectly imperfect, right? We're first and foremost spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. And so this is just an opportunity for you to recognize we are more than the body, and these difficulties are beautiful learning lessons. So you're on your path. Don't second guess it. I feel you do the work that Jimmy and I do.
She does.
And okay, because I literally want to symbolically, they're putting you in my little reading room, which is interesting. And you've got it. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. And I would even have a reading from you. That's what it feels like. You've got it. Okay. So just keep shining your light.
Yeah. And Kim, keep in mind, there's a lot of folks, and I think Kevin is very spot on with that. You know, It's like it never was your money, in other words. And some of these people, I mean, thank your lucky stars you gave them the money back, and may they never call you again, or, you know, my mother would say, never darken my doorway again.
Right.
Thank God, you know. And we've all had clients where it was like, oh my God, I'll do anything to not talk to them ever again. So it's just part of the territory. I will say it's an extremely small portion. It's got to be less than 1%, but certainly those folks who do that, I mean, they're just tyrants. And if that person, I don't get that it was a man, by the way, it was a woman, but she wasn't going to be happy no matter what you told her. If you told her, wouldn't have mattered. My Jewish friend's joke is the man is walking down the street and he's got a ham underneath his arms and he says, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. And my friend says to him, you got a ham underneath your arms? He goes, yeah, but I don't have any bread. So of course, the next day he sees him, he's got the ham under his arms, he's got bread. And he goes, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. And my friend says, you got a ham today and you had bread, you know, now too. You know, he goes, yeah, but I don't have any mustard. So that's what you're dealing with. So if you think you're ever going to please that woman, it's just good to cut them loose. Marcia is next. Hi, Marcia. What's going on?
Hi, Miss Marcia. Marcia Morris. Beautiful image. Would there be a message for me from my angels or my husband in heaven? All right. As I step in with you, I'll tell you this, love of my life. Very interesting. I would not be surprised if your husband did not actually say words like that, love of my life or love of my heart, because I suddenly want to say some sort of a phrase. It just pushes up and out of me. I just get a sense this was a one true love, and that this was somebody that this was actually your only husband in life, because I just get a sense your souls were meant to literally travel. Symbolically, what they show me are two comets, these beautiful balls of white light traveling through the universe in this lifetime, which makes me feel like these souls come together in one life, spend a little bit of time traveling through the galaxy, and then they part ways, entering a new phase of existence, like entering the spirit world. So I just get a sense that you two definitely had an incredible journey together, and you are and always will be the love of his life. I'll say to you this, that his body is in a state of beautiful restoration, and I get a sense that there was a lot of some sort of health challenges with him, but his body symbolically is in a beautiful vibration of green. Even though it's a white light, it still has this feeling of green in my spirit, which tells me he's been fully restored and healed. So you don't need to worry about how he's doing health-wise. Definitely we return to a beautiful higher vibration. I will tell you this, there is a beautiful angelic soul around you, and I think I want to say Uriel, because I get the sense of a yellow vibration with that name. And I want to say to you, the card that is pulled for you is the opportunity to forgive. And Uriel is all about knowledge and wisdom and almost like spiritual guidance. And I just get a sense of this is an opportunity for you to embody a higher vibration. And it's not so much about forgiving other people, but recognizing we have to begin to forgive ourselves for speaking negatively to ourselves, discounting our value and our importance, our purpose in life. You have value. And I think the reason this card has come forward is to remind you, self-love is the thing to work on with yourself. Just every day, remind yourself, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am important. We wouldn't be on earth in a human form if God, the universe, didn't think we were needed. The universe is not complete without us present on earth in human form. So that's very important to remember. I can feel that your husband was the second part of you, and just because he's in another vibration doesn't mean you're less than. You're just as important. And so remember to celebrate you more and be compassionate to yourself, speak kinder to yourself, because by doing that, you fill yourself up. And then all those people who come to you for guidance and support and need in the future will be served through your beautiful higher light. Very important message for you. So God bless and thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for writing in there, Marcia. And don't hesitate to call out to him all the time. You're not going to keep him tethered to you. No. You're not going to prevent his awakening or his growth in any way, but I'd holler out to him all the time and say, I love you. And I walk around my house and just go, hey, how y'all doing? You know,
I do too.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that one of my youngest granddaughters, she was about 3 at the time, and they come visit on Sundays. And 10 minutes after they were gone, my son was calling me, and I thought, what in the world? You know, you jump to that. Oh my God, I hope everything's okay. He says, I have to tell you what Charlie had to say after she left your house. I said, what's that? She said, I love going to Grandpa's house. There's so many ghosties there.
Oh, how cute is that?
That was so awesome, you know, because she could still see him. Of course, nobody told her she could. So we got him everywhere. So don't hesitate. She said, spot on. Yes, I am spot on. Thank you. Love you. Thanks, Marcia. That's awesome. Love it. Well, let's grab one more person before we wind this thing down, as they say, Kevin. Georgia is next. Hi, Georgia.
Hi, Miss Georgia. Georgia Siegner. All right. Help with finding a job very soon, I hope. Thank you. Love your little pooch, your little fur baby. You know, it's interesting because as I say your name, Georgia Siegner, and I look at this image, I recognize that there is your beautiful dog baby there. But I will tell you this, that there is a sense of the St. Francis of Assisi energy around you, which doesn't surprise me. But I also feel much deeper than that. You're a natural healer, and there is something about your hands that really just comes forward for me. It makes me feel as though either animals recognize your hands are healing, which is quite peculiar. I don't usually say that to clients or to the public, but there's something very St. Francis of Assisi. He was known as a Christian saint, a mystic, and animals gravitated to him, but he also healed them, and he spoke to them in his own way, and he manifested a lot of other miraculous things, if you will. But I just get a sense with you that there's a lot of healing in the animal kingdom with you, and it tends to be how you are by nature, even with the human animal, as we call us. And I want to say to you, you're doing a beautiful job. Healing is the vibration that literally, when I think of your name for you, healing is what you're all about. And the card that the angels pull for you is all about family. And this card, which is quite interesting, what are you doing in that image next to your name there? You're holding one of your family members. You're holding one of your dogs. Maybe you have cats or other animals in the house. Those are your family members. Those are your children. So you're building family, and you're all about family. Even within your own family, I get this sense that the angels just want to speak about and honor how it reminds me of a mother hen. A little mother hen always grabs her little chickadees under her wings, and she's always protecting, providing warmth. And I get the same symbol for you. You're very much of a nurturer as a woman, and you're all about bringing family together. Wouldn't surprise me if you're that one person in the family who always has to be in charge of the family reunion, because they're all about bringing family back together. Right. And that would make me laugh if you want to say yes or no in the comments. But it's that type of energy. You celebrate family, and there's such a special place for you in the world. We need more of that, a little more kindness and love and healing in the world. So God bless for you. Absolutely. Oh, you love St. Francis. Not a lot of people know who that is. So it's interesting that you know who that is. Thank you.
Keep in mind, Georgia, too, something around that resonates for you as a job-wise. Could be working at the vet, could be working at the animal shelter, could be working with, the state wildlife officers. You might be dispatched for all the game wardens or something, but there's something around the animal piece that I think you haven't explored yet job-wise. So keep that in mind as well.
Interesting. Beautiful.
Thanks for writing in. I love it.
So much, Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, she's got your website up on there.
Oh, marvelous.
Let folks know, is that the easiest way to get a hold of you?
It is. And I'll tell your viewers that my website is actually in a state. It's misbehaving like a little bad child right now. So there are not a lot of events listed. I have probably in a week or two, my brand new website will be live. So probably the easiest thing to do, they can go to that web address and contact me there through the contact features or the email list. But you can definitely always find everything about me, all of my stuff on Facebook. You just type in Rev Kevin Lee on Facebook, you'll find a couple of my pages and things like that. And just stay in touch. This Saturday is my big angel card reading course, 2 parts through the Camp Chesterfield system. Again, on Facebook, that's where you'll find it listed, and all the links and information. And it's just a marvelous gathering. So I definitely invite them to come and be a part of that. I do private readings over the phone, and I do spiritual business coaching, actually helping people even set up live streaming situations like this, or expanding their business on a spiritual level. And I love doing all kinds of stuff like this. I'm a builder. I literally love building centers of light, either in people or in places. That's what my thing is.
Love that. Thanks so much for being on today, Kevin. I love it. It was so my brother saying hi to me. And so I'm so excited to have you on. And gosh, we'll send this out to everybody in the newsletter. Yeah. Thanks for being out there and helping all the folks you can. Definitely.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. We can't get enough of you and folks like you. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So thanks again. Folks, reach out anytime, jimmymackhealing.com. We'll be here every Tuesday, of course, 4 p.m. Eastern. Join us here each week. If you didn't happen to get on today's show for any reason, you can also look up Reverend Debbie Deanspear, and Kevin knows her, and her show is also Thursday at 12 noon. Same type of channel, same Goldylocks, all that. So if you didn't get on today, definitely I am her. She will give you some profound messages from Spirit as well. Thanks, everybody, and want to wish everybody the rest of your life will be the best of your life. And remember to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Don't want the fun to end? Grab more refreshments. Then head over to the Goldylocks Productions YouTube channel. With the huge selection of shows, the fun doesn't have to end.